It's such a pleasure to have the ambassador and his wife with us. Before I make formal introduction there, though, there are two other couples I'd like to introduce. President and Sister Orton, would you please stand? President and Sister Orton were former mission president to Romania, and then President Orton was called to be a member of the 70 and is now maritime status, and president of the St. George Temple. He's also the honorary consul for Romania, and we're so pleased that President and Sister Orton would be with us today for the ambassador being here. We also have Brother and Sister, President and Sister also Curtis Bennett. President and Sister Bennett served their mission in Chile, and President Bennett is honorary consul for Chile, and he has a son who's currently serving, they have a son who is currently serving in Romania. And it was by their contact with the ambassador that the invitation was opened, and we're so pleased the ambassador and his wife accepted the invitation. Ambassador Vierita has been ambassador of the United States since January 2008. Prior to his current assignment, Ambassador Vierita served as State Secretary for the European Affairs with the Romanian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Between 2002 and 2006, he was the ambassador to the Federal Republic of Germany. Ambassador Vierita is a career member of the Diplomatic Corps of Romania. He joined the Foreign Service in 1991. You would understand the significance of that period of time. He also informed us that he and his wife met at work. She was his boss. And apparently they both impressed each other. The ambassadors held various executive positions with the Romanian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, including Chief of Staff of the State Secretary, coordinating relations with Asia, Africa, Middle East, and Latin America, Deputy Director of the United Nations and International Organizations Directorate, Director of the Central and Southeast Europe Directorate, and General Director for European and Transatlantic Affairs. There are many other positions during that period of time that he's held that, for the sake of time, I won't go through all of them, but simply recognize his distinguished service. In 2002, the ambassador was decorated with the Order of Faithful Service of Romania in the rank of officer. In 2003, he received the Ambassador of the Year award, and in 2005 was acknowledged Diplomat of the Year by 9 o'clock daily in Bucharest. In 2006, Ambassador Vierita was awarded the Great Cross of Merit from the Federal Republic of Germany. Ambassador Vierita graduated from the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna program of post-academic studies in international affairs and European integration, as well as the Romanian Institute of International Studies in Bucharest, especially in international affairs and world economy. With both, he was awarded merit diplomas. At the present, the ambassador's ambition carries on. He's a PhD candidate in economic science at the Academy of Economic Studies in Bucharest. He holds a master's degree from the Faculty of Technology of the Polytechnic University in Bucharest. We're pleased that he is here and most pleased that he has his wife with him. We welcome both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson, for this unbelievable presentation. Thank you, all of you, for taking the time to come here today. I am very grateful that Kojina and I are here. Let me tell you from the very beginning that BYU is a very famous university, and in a way I envy you for studying here. I hope that you have a great time, and I hope that you will also come to Romania or come back to Romania. I was impressed by how many of you been very active in my country. And allow me to say from the very beginning that I'm very grateful for that. Before coming here, I had a meeting with my colleagues in the embassy. According to the job description, they have to draft the speeches, they have to prepare the file, they have to instruct me how to behave, what to tell you, and this is the work an administration, this is the way an administration works. And I have prepared a speech, but I have decided not to read it in front of you. I have decided to present some facts or data, some things, some issues about Romania, and then, if this is agreeable to you, to engage in conversation. But I'd like to mention something, nevertheless. This is a very important year. This is a very important year for Romania. We are celebrating 130 years of diplomatic relations between the United States and Romania. And trying to make a comparison, I was amazed to see how many similarities we share today. Similarities. How many things we have today in common with things which happened 130 years ago or 100 years ago. I'll give an example. Ford Motor Company is again present in Romania. You are in Romania. You have been to Romania, and in my view, this is the most important link between our two countries. People-to-people relation, exchanges of personal experiences, helping each other, understanding, better understanding the life and the world. We are in the vicinity of the Rocky Mountains, and this inspires me to think that Romania in these 20 years has come a long and rocky way. We have started 20 years ago. One could say that we started from scratch, trying to build a new democracy. You may know that Romanian bureaucracy ended in 1938 when the first dictatorship was imposed upon Romanian people. And we waited. We restarted in 1989 in December. And since then, we have tried to build a new society, a new democracy, and to have a new foreign policy. I'm not going to tell you how we have developed since then internally, because I think that to some extent you know better than me. You have witnessed different phenomena in Romania, and I'm sure that you are more informed about different aspects of the Romanian life and society than I am. But I'm going to focus a little bit on what has changed in foreign policy. First, I think I have to mention, it is my moral duty to say that we have benefited a lot from the help that our friends has offered to us. Our friends have offered their help, which made us not only transform ourselves, but also come back into the Euro-Atlantic family. United States helped us, Europe helped us, so that today we are a proud member of NATO, fighting together, literally fighting, together with the American troops in Afghanistan, shoulder to shoulder. We are a proud member of the European Union, and we are hoping, some colleagues of mine would say that they are convinced that the new Lisbon Treaty, which entered into force, would strengthen the force of the EU to be a better partner in the world affairs for the United States. Because we truly believe that the relationship between the United States and the European Union, or Europe, actually most of the countries of the European Union are NATO members, but this relationship is the badge hint of the world. We may debate about this, but this is our belief. And that is why Romania is among the countries who favor a sound transatlantic relationship. And I think we have a chance now, after having in force the Treaty of Lisbon. The treaty entered into force on 1st December last year. Maybe it's too early to have a thorough analysis. But we hope that the European Union will become stronger. After mentioning the EU, after mentioning NATO and the transatlantic relationship, I would mention another pillar of the Romanian foreign policy. It is the regional policy. Romania is situated in a very complex region, and I think you may agree, or feel free to correct me. Romania is a country in Central Europe, and if you visited Timișoara, for instance, you would confirm this. Romania is a country in the Balkans. If you visited Dobruja, the region near the Black Sea, you may witness this. You would admit this, seeing churches near mosques or synagogues together. Romania is a country in southeastern Europe. If we agree that Romania is a Balkan country, then Romania is a country in southeastern Europe. Romania is a Danube country, thus cooperating with countries along the Danube, like Austria, even Germany, not to mention Slovakia, Hungary, and Serbia. Romania is a Black Sea country, it's obvious, Riberian country. Romania is an eastern country. So, if you look at Romania from, let's say, I don't know, from Chile, You may see it in the eastern part of Europe. So the problem was that Romania was situated in so many regions and is there where it is there where it belongs. We cannot change the geography. We cannot change the history. What we can do is to try to draw the good lessons from geography, from history. So, trying to draw the lessons, we have concluded that there is some unfinished business in this region. We were talking about frozen conflicts. Some of them are not so frozen anymore, but this is the way diplomats used to refer to them. We still have some unfinished business in the Balkans. We have, I think, achieved a breakthrough in the Republic of Moldova, with whom Romania shares common history, common culture, common language. We have something which is coming to Europe from the Black Sea, and I think the United States has perfectly understood this. The energy security. Roughly half of the energy flows which comes to Europe comes through the Black Sea region. And our policy is to try to convince our friends and partners in the region and in the European Union, also having a close cooperation with the United States on that we need more transparency, more competition, so that everybody, at the end of the day, from this point of view, energy security is better off. Last but not least, I would come back to where I started, actually. The relation with the United States. And I cannot pretend that I am talking about this relation without mentioning what one could say it is the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room which made headlines recently. It is the Romanian participation in the phased adaptive approach of the missile defense system of the United States. We can discuss about it, but I think that this will seal the strategic partnership between Romania and the United States for many years. This was also confirmed by the visit of the Vice President Biden last October, a visit to Bucharest. It is important that we work together everywhere, bilaterally, regionally, multilaterally, internationally, because the challenges that we face are extremely big. And I truly believe that the condition to have a good cooperation starts here in the university, starts here in the school. A good relation is a good cultural relation, educational relation, scientific relation, people-to-people relation, as I said in the beginning of my presentation. That is why your job is extremely important, as it is the jobs of different students all over the world. We need to live up to expectations. After all, the destiny, the future of this world lies on your shoulder. Till then you have our shoulder. But I'll be very cautious. We all make mistakes. Please learn from ours and be what you are. Great students at a great university. Thank you so much.
His Excellency has agreed to take some questions, and so we do have a roving microphone. We'd ask you to raise your hand, and when we get the mic to you, if you'd please tell us your name and what you're studying, and then you can ask your question. I think we start right up here.
My name is Shannon Clausen. I study international development here, and I was able to go to Romania in 2006 and volunteer at an internship in orphanage there in order to learn more about international orphanage agencies and stuff like that. Romania has a moratorium on international adoptions, which I support. I think the best way to help Romania's orphans is to work with creating better systems within the country. However, there were many children that I worked with that were severely disabled, and the chances of them ever being adopted within the country or fostered within the country were extremely low. I was wondering if there was ever any plans in Romania to change that policy for handicapped children, for children that have a very low chance of being adopted within the country.
Well, I was a little bit afraid when you said that you support this policy that we have now, the moratorium on adoption, because, you know, this is very much debated, and speaking frankly, on a personal basis, and I'm not afraid to say it publicly, I'm not sure I support this policy. I understood the reasoning and the rationale behind it. You know the history. It started at the end of the 90s, when we tried to, when we applied and tried to start negotiations with the European Union. The problem with the European Union here is that there is no European acquis. In other words, that member states of the European Union can have their own policy, their own national child policy. And you may recall the endless talks with people from the European Parliament and with the rapporteur from the European Parliament for Romania. and how things evolved. This is history. As I said, we try to draw some lessons. What we would need to solve the problem is to change the legislation, which, again, in my view, is too rigid. This is not very easy. And probably ambassadors are not right persons to reach a critical mass. We need politicians. But what we try to do, and I'm trying to answer from my experience, is to see where are the niches in the legislation which allow us to treat those kids, and to so that they can be treated either in Romania, or if this is not possible for various reasons, because of the lack of money or because of the lack of medical expertise, to be treated abroad, including, of course, the United States. At the same time, the governmental agencies dealing with child protection are under constant scrutiny. So basically, people recognize that we need to change the system. The issue here is how to change it, and of course there is also the issue of the political will to try to I'm trying to give you an honest answer. I'm not trying to describe or to depict a rose garden, because it is not. But you know, dealing as a top priority in times of crisis with this issue is, for governments, sometimes difficult. Besides, for politicians, but don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming at politicians. This is a problem that we have to fix together. Together, I'm emphasizing the word together. Government, politicians, civil society, with some assistance from abroad, from Brussels, from here. But this is sometimes, when it comes to legislation, dealing with it, this is not a theme bringing votes. So I see the task, which is huge. And I can assure that in the government, and I'm talking about the government because this is the structure that I am belonging to, there are people working on this and being aware that we still need to progress on that. This is also a diplomatic way to say that we have progressed since 1990, for instance, or even 1998 or 99. But we acknowledge that we are not there yet. And I think that the optimistic message is that this is on the agenda.
Hi, my name is Peter Wright. I study history in Russian. And my question has to do with the anti-ballistic missile defense system that you mentioned. And I'm wondering, as far as I understand, it's the current administration of Romania has accepted, but it still needs to be approved by the parliament, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, what is the level of support among the Romanian citizenry for this system and the parliament? And also, do you foresee any repercussions from the Russian Federation if the missile system is, the anti-missile system is in place, or put in place?
First, sorry. We have not undertaken a thorough analysis, so I cannot tell you based on scientific data. But now it depends on what you call science. But I don't have data to prove that in the public opinion of Romania there is, I would say, majority opinion in favor. I can only tell you that we start from this presumption because being member of NATO, also of the EU, but I'm speaking, I'm focusing more on hard security. And having a strategic partnership with the United States, having American troops on Romanian soil, which is happening, and hosting some missiles on the Romanian territory. All these would be not only accepted but favored by the public opinion in Romania. There is no much debate on that. There are some discussions, there are some debates though, organized in a form of round tables or seminars with representatives of different NGOs and civil society, and also representatives of the government, and of course of the political class. But the result of these discussions is not worrying. Political class, well, politicians for a specific purpose may say different things, but I am almost sure, well, you cannot be 100% sure, but I am almost sure that they would vote in favor. And this is a kind of differentiation between the statement and the voting. Consequences. This is a topic that has been discussed with the Russians, and this was a topic that has been discussed in Brussels, in NATO. This is envisaged to increase the security of Europe, and is a defense system, so is not directed against anyone. Consequences, well, you may use it, of course. You may use it to, I don't know, to try to get something else in a kind of trade-off. way of doing business. But also Russia was invited to join eventually the system. The last invitation, I think, was launched the day before yesterday. In Washington, Secretary of State had a kickoff speech for a NATO seminar. And during that speech, she launched the invitation. I mean, it was not the first time. And we do not expect Russia to answer tomorrow. But, I mean, the invitation is there.
Mark Watterson. I'm studying political science here at BYU. My question is also in regards to the missile defense shield. Do you foresee this as being a protective barrier for Europe against a Russian threat or a potential Iranian threat in the future?
Nobody is talking about Russia. On the contrary, as I said, Russia was invited. And now I'm giving you an answer which may surprise you. I'm not so much thinking about Iran. I won't exclude. Romania could be, Romania is already in the area which could be hit by short-range Iranian missiles. But I'm not, trying to be rational. I do not expect tomorrow to be attacked by Iran. Why? Nevertheless, now I'm trying to give you the answer. We think that this is a good system. Because unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, today we witness actions, not only diplomatic actions, acts by non-state actors. And this is, in our assessment, is going to, this tendency is going to go up. So if you ask a Romanian like me, you may receive the answer that I'm not concerned particularly because of Iran or Syria or North Korea or whatever country. No. I'm concerned that in case of a tragedy, the Romanian territory is not protected. This is what concerns us. So, this is why we think it is a good system for Europe, which, you know, that at the end of the phase 4, it will also cover the territory of the United States against intercontinental BMD. So we think this is a good system. We want to make our contribution, and we'll see.
Well, we have time for one more. I'm going to come up closer to the front. There's a hand here. Raise your hand if you have a question.
I want to just thank you for coming again. My name is Troy Tess, studying international relations. Again, this is about the defense shield. My question deals with, because President Obama came in and removed the defense shield that we were going to put into the Czech Republic and Poland, are you concerned that that same event could happen with pulling out the suggestion to put the defense shield into Romania because of Russian pressure?
No, I'm not so much concerned because, as I told you, this, I mean, if I'm not wrong, please correct me, the change, the announcement regarding the change of the system occurred when? On 17th of September. I think so, if I'm not wrong. Maybe 16 or 18, I mean, but it was around that date. And since then, have been taking place a lot of discussions with the Russians. The system was welcomed by all NATO members in Brussels. Also being part of the dialogue with Russia in the framework of the NRC, as you know. And there was no negative reaction from the allies to this, and not a big, great, whatever, counter-reaction from Russia. If I was Russian, I'd have asked this also. But this is a process which is going on. This process is having its own dynamic. This is not the only process. You know better than me, the United States is negotiating the post-START II agreement. And I'm optimistic about that. It could be, I think a compromise could be reached in months. I don't want to say weeks because what may be too optimistic, but I think that both sides are there. We are working within NATO on the future NATO strategic concept, which would also have something to do with the system, the shield, because this is something that is not meant to be American only. It is the European pillar, which eventually would be, hopefully, would be operated by NATO. Eventually, at the end of the process, which means in 10-year times. So, in 10 years' time. Well, this is a first step, but I think this is the way, and we think it is a good way. Yes, sure, no. Any question, please.
Sir.
Hi, my name is Christina Petrishov. I'm from Romania. And I'm being a
Lucky you.
Thank you. You know, you want to take my position. I'm being a double major, political science and German. My question is, obviously we joined the European Union in 2007, and we're talking a lot about the United States-Romania relationship. How has that influenced our relationship, or has it changed in any way our adhesion to the European Union? Did that change in any way our relationship with the United States?
Yes, it has.
How?
Badly. The trade went down. No, I'm not entirely joking. Joining the EU, you have a common tariff. So some of the goods were not so competitive when it comes to price on the American market. But this was something that happened not only to Romania, it happened also to the other Central European countries when they joined the EU. Now we are trying to catch up. on trade. And here I felt the most significant effect on Romanian-US relationship. Well, actually the strategic partnership, as we call it, relies on few areas. Political military dialogue. We have discussed about missile defense. Economic cooperation. Economic cooperation seen from our side, trying to attract US investment to Romania and try to promote the Romanian exports and the Romanian investments. You'll be surprised, but there are some Romanian companies here in the United States present on the American market, like I don't know if you know, but you should know actually. It's Bitdefender. Bitdefender is a Romanian company. The firewalls. Vierita is a Romanian company with headquarters in Bucharest and branches in Florida and California. So, okay. And also the cultural, educational, science exchange between the United States and Romania. This should be favorably affected, influenced by the EU membership of Romania. And why not? I think this is something that may appear as a challenge. American entities, if registered in Romania, could apply for European funds, could apply for European money. This is new and to some extent surprising. Because one could expect that how could an American entity, an American actor, be it NGO, be it a company, whatever, how could an American actor benefit from the European funds? It could. It's not so easy, but it could. So I think this would be an incentive of being a EU member. And also something else, and I'll stop with this. You know that there is an institutional framework of dialogue between the United States and the EU. And well, I think it is important because we are being very transatlanticist, Romanians. We also make our contribution there, trying to reach consensus on different issues, issues on the agenda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.